Welcome back on deynonmod. Today I want to propose you a video about the unboxing review about the Transformers Age the Prime Skydive. This is the last one to create the complete Superion. That it was my dream since I was a child as a gestalt, and I had when I was a child the arms and the legs, so also Skydive, and I've had the centerpiece that is Silverbolt. Now we have yet seen that I have Silverbolt that in this recreation it's all the model, because the other four ones are technically decorations. Okay, still it was something that I wanted, and here we could say that we can conclude here the review, because it's exactly the same mold as AairRaid, so technically it's the same. A little change about the part of the air, okay, airplane, but it's exactly the same, even more lazy this one. So okay, anyway, I was still to continue because I think that it's worth anyway to have all the Superion, all my dream about. And so we can compare this from the box itself with the one that is for AairRaid. We can see that the images are exactly the same. Here we can see this one. Eventually, remember that if you want to demolish the part of the box, you could use this as a bookmark eventually. And then we can see about this, that you should be happy, because technically it should be about this. It's a password that go to create all the Age of the Primes, but when we go to add the ones that we've seen for the other models, we can find that this one it's a repetition. We can understand that it's exactly the same. So here are the same of Slingshot one. Maybe it's an error, because I would have expected at least to have another piece, so that you have, for example, all the image in the box of Silverbolt, and still maybe this one could have been done so that it could be the external part here, so to leave the center okay without. It's a bit of pity, because it's really quite an example of laziness, this one, in my opinion. Still, I think that okay, the box itself it's not technically so important, even if I like in a way to collect both these ones. And here we have the back that as you can see it's exactly the same that you can see here. So other than a bit of here the position change, it's the exact same mold. But I really want to open this and start to play, because I want to have my finished Superion in my hands. So let's start. Okay, so here we have the instruction and the guarantee. Sincerely, the instruction, okay, there are, but are exactly a clone of what we've seen for AairRaid, so it's up to you to decide if you need. Eventually, you can use to understand which part of the model it's going to create the combiner. Okay, so let's start to free him. About this card, you could eventually use as a background, could be useful. This paper card that it was where they were the accessories, it's always nice, and I also skip because I love such thing. Then we have this piece that it goes here, and it's at the end the same. Eventually, that you can see that it's the one that we've seen for AairRaid, only colored. And remember that you can use eventually as a viewport, because it goes here and so on. Eventually you have such options, okay, or eventually here, but there is a single one, so I don't know if it's useful or not. And then after that I push here this one. We had the weaponry. About these ones I am quite satisfied, because about Fireflight and Slingshot, they were the same weapon. Instead, if we compare these two ones, we can see that they are a bit different, at least. Okay, so at least there is such an intriguing way, at least a little difference, and these two are the same, so it's up to you to decide how you want to push them on the model so on. So now let's start to see about the robot itself. So let's start to see about this model, that it's a copy of AairRaid, and we can see here it's exactly the same. The only detail that change are about here, that there is only one of these back one, so there is a hole less eventually, and the position about the symbol here, that it's on the side, okay, And if you want to know about the gear to land, here it is, so as usual. And not worry about the back, because here it has for the AairRaid that you can do this. This is useful when you create the option of the combiner, so that when it's behind, it doesn't impact when you bend the knee of Superion. So okay. And about the mobility, we can find that it's okay as usual, so it's not a problem to move at all. It's quite nice. Okay, there is quite interesting part. I do like such holes that are a bit of pity. At least it's more covered here than about Slingshot, but at the same time it has a bit more problem about something else. And it's not bad, sincerely, because if you see in robot mode, it's quite intriguing. Maybe some panel here to cover, because you bend only a needle when you go to convert. It's how you decide if it's worth or not. Still, it's a good mod, a good copy, at least in the robot version. And finally, here we can see all the components that create Superion, so it's finished. So we have AairRaid, Slingshot, Silverbolt, Fireflight, and Skydive. So finally have all the ones and create my full Superion, so I'm really quite happy. And you can see the comparison of the height, so it's almost the same, okay, as you can see. So it's really quite nice to see. Obviously this is the center part that, remember, I had a big external heavy part. So okay, now we have to go to see a bit more about Skydive, but here it's something that it's amazing. I love having this finally finished, really quite amazing. Here we can make a comparison of the two. So here we have Skydive and here we have AairRaid, and we can see that it's a copy. Okay, in the alt mode, I think that it's not as good as AairRaid, but at the same time has quite intriguing part. For example, these black pieces here hid these parts better, so it's seen from the up a bit better in that way. And anyway, they are really quite good, both of them. And in the bottom one, anyway, I think that Skydive it's gaining a bit more, because it has the head here that it's more hidden in a way, a bit that there is such really holes that are anyway visible from the bottom. And the problem is about the back, because technically this should be a single propulsor here, instead has two as this. Sincerely, they could have done simply a way to have a design that cover only a part of this for half and half. It would be much better. It's that ruin a bit, knowing a bit about the airplanes themselves. Still, they are okay, not bad at all, really. They have quite a lot of amazing potential. As both the robot version and the alt mode, they are not bad. In that mode, this it's a little better still. Remember that eventually you can also try to make that it's make a sort of standing. Okay. It's not going to resist, but it's quite intriguing eventually to create something to change a bit the way that it can be seen. Okay, it's an option. So, okay, it's nice. So, now it's time to make a little site about all the planes mode for the Superion parts, and then Superion. And so here we can see the alt mode for all these Aerialbot, and I love such thing, because in a way you can see that they are amazing. Okay, finally have all these parts for creating my Superion. Still, it's a dream that it's coming out, so wow. And I like it, and I know, said a lot that I'm not satisfied completely, I know, and it's true. At the same time, I'm satisfied in the way that my child version is really screaming that it's happy because finally have all of these, and I'm really quite happy about this. So it's nice. And now let's go to see about Skydive in the version of being the leg for Superion and then Superion itself. And now it's time to convert this in the way to have the combiner. So we move this up, this again here, because we need to have the cover here. We put down the head so that it's available, and so we can create like this. We move up this so that it doesn't have any problem. We close in such a way this part, and then these little ones, and then we add to the back here so that we can combine together as we done for AairRaid. Eventually there is also another trick that I found out having talking with other people that has this mod, and that you can open this slide and put the weaponry inside so that you don't know where to store these things. Here there is space for all the weaponry that there are. Eventually you can divide side by side so that you have all the side about for example the AairRaid and Slingshot, and the other one related about Skydive and Fireflight. It's a silly option, but it is eventually available, so not bad at all. And now Superion. And so now we need only to add the leg, and Superion it's finished. And wow, I quite like all of these. Okay, this part, as I said, it's not the best in my opinion. I would have preferred that they will be facing in front so that it would be much better in my opinion. Still, finally, it's here, and Superion complete. A dream coming true. So, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So, I hope to see you again to the next time.